It's minicamp and OTA season. We're taking a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and getting our first look at Mason Rudolph. We're going to watch him throw the ball around, work through some drills and everything else. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're looking at practice every day. Rookie camp, minicamp, OTA, soon-to-be training camp, workouts in between. Whatever we can find on these players, it's going to be right here. Your favorite rookies, quarterback battles, guys you're drafting in fantasy football, players on your favorite team, all right here. Click that button. Stop missing out on what your players are doing behind the scenes. We're looking at Mason Rudolph today, a minute 40, going through the clips here. And some of them are from last week, some of them are from this week, but here we are. Step back, getting it out, boom, downfield. Downfield. So right now, it looks like he's going to be the starter for the Steelers unless they make a change. Unless they make a transaction, that's your starter. That is who you're going to be throwing out there week 1. I've heard a lot of different takes on him. I think there's a lot of fans who are very hopeful he turns things around. I think there's a lot of fans out there that understand like this isn't an optimal situation. You also got Will Howard there waiting in the wings, who they drafted this year. They drafted late, that they're trying to develop, but hopefully he steps up when given the opportunity. But we got to see what happens here. Obviously, the dark horse is Aaron Rodgers, but honestly, he might not be coming back. He might not be coming back. And what version are you getting when he does come back? You got Rudolph there. That's probably your answer for this year. And if you do get Rodgers down the line, like right before camp or something, the big question there is, what are you really getting? What are you getting when that happens? On top of that, you got Will Howard, who's a very interesting rookie. Won a national title at Ohio State. Looked good at Kansas State. One of the top assets in the transfer portal last year. Rudolph slinging it downfield. The question is, can he take a step forward? You got DK Metcalf there now. You added Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson is a running back that's going to be able to take a lot of touches. Once he's acclimated, though. You still got Warren, who's going to allow him to be a good bridge for Johnson as you ramp him up. That's the thing. That's the thing about that. Darnell Washington has dropped some pounds, dropped some LBs. Apparently he's looking a lot better, more fluid. Roman Wilson has been looking solid from accounts. Calvin Austin's been looking solid from accounts. I say from accounts because that's really all we got to base things off of, is the beat writers and what they write about the players. There's Caleb Johnson right there. Mason Rudolph. The thing is, do you believe he can take a step forward? Do you believe that's going to... I believe we're going to use the run game a lot. I think Steelers are going to try to run the ball. I think we're going to be in some gritty games. This year. I think so. I think we're going to be in some games where we're going to try and keep it low scoring. I mean, we don't want to keep it low scoring, but we're going to try and control that clock. Slower paced football. Steeler football, old school. I think we're going to go old school. I think pace of play is going to slow down. I think we're going to funnel it to DK Metcalf. Honestly, you're going to need some of these wide receivers to step it up. Like, exceed expectations, step it up. Like, oh, not this player's, actually better than you believe. Like, no, you actually got to hit to that upside type deal for things to really rapidly improve, for things to get better in this situation. That's what you're going to definitely need. Like, you need some of these players to start hitting to their top-end potential. Unless Mason Rudolph takes a massive step forward. I don't know how Steelers fans feel about him. Like, I saw a account on Twitter that someone's hoping he turns into Sam Darnold. Somebody's hoping for that. And then down the timeline of that, right under it, people were just making fun of him. And it's just Sam Darnold, honestly. But Sam Darnold had a good season last year. I don't know if we can get that far. That's the question. I think there's a good chance Will Howard gets in there. There's a good chance Will Howard gets in there and has some starts this year. I think there's a good chance for that. Maybe another quarterback. I think this could get a little dicey. I think this could be a good year to get yourself up to a top pick to get a quarterback. I mean, the thing about Mason Rudolph, he either turns it around to where you're completely turning the franchise around this season, or it's not, and you're going to be in position for a top quarterback. He ain't going to be like middle of the road. It's either going to be all or nothing type of deal. You're either going to feel a little optimistic with him going into 2026, or you're going to be looking at a top-end rookie. I think that's what you're really going to be looking at. That's probably it. And it might be the latter. You might be looking at Klubnik or something. I don't think Arch Manning's coming out next year. There's a good probability he doesn't come out. He could. There's a good probability Arch Manning doesn't come out. That's the thing about that. I know we're looking at Arch Manning, and we're talking about fans, not the coaches. The fans are looking at Arch Manning. I know they know, and that's in the back of their mind, and it'll probably be more in the front of their mind once we get to the end of November. Later than expected for coaches. Maybe even into December. But Arch Manning, there's a chance he doesn't come out. There's a chance. There's a good chance. And he goes another year at Texas. Good chance for that. Mason Rudolph, though. I mean, from accounts, he's not really looking that bad at camp. He's not. It's just, once we get the pads on, can we step it up? Can we step it up to a point where we can take the Steelers more seriously at the quarterback position, where we don't feel bad for DK Metcalf going to the Steelers, and now we're in a situation at quarterback where, like, you're hoping something takes a step forward. You're hoping something happens. How do you feel about the quarterback position for the Steelers going into the 2025 season and beyond? How do you feel about Mason Rudolph? Are you waiting for Will Howard to see what happens there? How many quarterbacks you think is going to start this season? All those questions. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.